Alrighty guys, it is Qaaman here today, and I'm bringing you another Dragon Ball Super predictions episode for episode 21 of Dragon Ball Super, which is called The Revenge Begins, the Frieza's Army's Malice Strikes Gohan. And in this episode, I'm going to be talking about what I think is going to happen with the characters individually, what's going to be the central focus of this episode, and specific things that I expect to happen in the episode as a whole. So without wasting any more time, let's get straight into this video. So in terms of a central focus, the first thing I wanted to say is this episode is kind of interesting because it has the name The Frieza's Army Strikes Malice on Gohan, which is implying that in a way this episode is going to put Gohan as the central focus of the Z fighters, obviously fighting the majority of the Frieza soldiers. And even though Dragon Ball Super has been slow in its pacing from time to time, I literally cannot see them stretching out the Frieza soldier arc more than 2 episodes. I literally can't. So as for my predictions in this episode, I think the central focus will be the fact that Gohan is going to lead the other Z fighters in a long fight against the Frieza soldiers, and I do expect there to be a conclusion by the end of this episode, because quite honestly guys, can you really see them fighting against Frieza soldiers for more than 2 episodes? I mean, honestly, what I expect is this episode they're going to take care of all of the minor soldiers, and then the next episode we might see them fight against, I guess you would say, the stronger, more powerful soldiers, and then after that we could probably see Goku and Vegeta returning to assist them in their battle against Frieza. So those are my predictions as far as this one goes, and the reason why Gohan's in the title is because I think he's going to be leading them. So in terms of character roles throughout this episode, as I've already mentioned before, I said that Gohan is going to be leading the Z fighters in their fight against the Frieza soldiers. In terms of Frieza, he's most likely just going to sit on his pod and just observe the Z fighters, you know, just fighting against a bunch of his soldiers, watching him get killed. And what I found interesting is that in one quick scene, we see Sorbet and Togoma arguing, which is, to me, is probably implying that they're probably arguing over orders, because it doesn't seem like they're in any type of combat. So I can't see Togoma and Sashimi actually engaging in battle against the Z fighters. They're probably just going to sit back until all the, you know, Frieza's henchmen are dead. And in terms of Goku and Vegeta, I expect them to just be training on Beerus' planet, most likely advancing their training sequences, which would be really good for us to see them, you know, talk about the Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan transformation. And they're probably not going to be notified about the threat of Frieza and his men until probably the end of the episode, or probably the episode afterwards. And also, one thing I found interesting is that Goten and Trunks are now around in this scenario, and I have a very strong suspicion that they're going to sneak in to go fight against the Frieza soldiers. And the reason why I'm saying this is because I understand in the movie if you don't have them doing it, because, you know, obviously there's less time that you have to advance the story, and you have to make things go really quick, and you can't focus on so many characters. But for a show that's obviously going to go at a slower pace, I could definitely see Goten and Trunks sensing what's going around, and they're flying off to go fight them and see what's going on. And what I find interesting is that who's really going to stop them? I mean, Bulma can't convince Goten and Trunks to stay. If they sense all those powers taking place, they're going to go off and they're going to want to fight. So I could definitely see Goten and Trunks intervening either this episode or maybe in the episode afterwards. And obviously, as I've said before, you know, that's pretty much going to conclude the main things, because the fighters in this episode, they're basically just going to be fighting. I mean, that's basically what's going to happen. Beerus and Whis are just going to be on their planet. So that basically concludes what I think is going to happen for their roles. And it would be really cool to see what Goten and Trunks do. Sorbet and Togoma, I could only see them just giving orders. As far as specific events go, I just wanted to point this out that I think Krillin might actually bail out of the fight. It's possible, I'm not saying it's going to happen, but that's one specific event I could see occurring because of the fact that Gohan in the preview was saying that, you know, we are 5 powerful fighters, but we cannot defeat 1,000 easily, which is weird because based off of what Mike and I have said before, the power scaling that they've received over the years is so far above what anything would ever be on Namek that one individual soldier is literally like a leaf to these Z fighters. But either way, what I could see happening is, because Gohan was telling Krillin that you should bail out, you know, you should leave, that's implying that Krillin's probably going to struggle throughout the fight, and that's leading me into believing that, you know, he could bail out and possibly Goten, Trunks, or maybe even Majin Buu come in to replace him. That's one thing I could see happening. And also another specific event is that I could see Goku and Vegeta intensifying their fight in Dragon Ball Super, because of the fact that I saw a little quick thing in the preview where we saw Whis holding up flags, which is probably implying that they're having like some type of deeply engaged conflict with one another. So those are two specific things I could see happening: Goku and Vegeta having a serious fight, and Krillin actually bailing out of the fight. I'm curious to see if either of those happen. So guys, that has been my video for today. Overall, I think this is going to be an action-packed episode. I expect to see a lot of action between both sides, and I also expect to see a lot of action between Goku and Vegeta as they're training, as it seems like it's going to be intensified in one sense. And one thing I'm really looking forward to is I also expect to see subtle changes that differ from what happened in Fakatsu no F, because obviously Togoma's around, which adds more to the story, and I'm very curious to see what you guys think in the comment section below. What do you expect out of episode 21 of Dragon Ball Super? The show is moving along a lot better than I expected so far. The pacing is getting much better, and I'm very excited to see what happens. So most importantly, over everything else, please remember to rate, comment, and subscribe. And remember, as I always say, to have a great day, guys.